As the 21st century began, human evolution was at a turning point. Natural selection, the process by which the strongest, the smartest, the fastest reproduced in greater numbers than the rest, a process which had once favored the noblest traits of man, now began to favor different traits. Most science fiction of the day predicted a future that was more civilized and more intelligent. But as time went on, things seemed to be heading in the opposite direction, a dumbing down. How did this happen? Evolution does not necessarily reward intelligence. With no natural predators to thin the herd, it began to simply reward those who reproduced the most and left the intelligent to become an endangered species.
Having kids is such an important decision.
We're just waiting for the right time. It's not something you want to rush into, obviously.
No way.
Oh shit, I'm pregnant again!
Shit! I got too many damn kids. Thought you was on the pill or some shit.
Hell no!
Must have been thinking of Brittany.
Brittany? No, you didn't! There's no way we could have a child now. Not with the market the way it is, no.
God, no. That just wouldn't make any sense.
Come on over here, bitch! He don't care about you!
Yeah, well, there must be something he likes over here.
You mean nothing to me, baby? Oh, shit. It wasn't me! It wasn't me!
Well, we finally decided to have children, and I'm not pointing fingers, but it's not going well.
And this is helping.
I'm just saying that before I have in vitro, maybe you should be willing to...
It's always me, right?
Well, it's not my sperm count.
Yeah! I'm gonna fuck all y'all! That's my boy!
Cleavon is lucky to be alive. He attempted to jump a jet ski from a lake into a swimming pool and impaled his crotch on an iron gate. But thanks to recent advances in stem cell research and the fine work of Doctors Krinsky and Altschuler, Cleavon should regain full reproductive function.
Get your hands off my junk!
Unfortunately, Trevor passed away from a heart attack while masturbating to produce sperm for artificial insemination. But I have some eggs frozen, so just as soon as the right guy comes along, you know.
And so it went for generations, although few, if any, seemed to notice.
Idiocracy was a warning to us all, and now at this point it's basically a prophecy because it's almost like guaranteed to happen. I mean, the little intro clip kind of shows the basics idea of why the average IQ is plummeting, but that's not like the only reason. It's not just because stupid people reproduce more. It's also because like education systems have failed us because they value stuff that's not useful inside everyday life. And so we teach stuff like, you know, calculus and trigonometry and a bunch of other stuff that you don't use in day-to-day life instead of, you know, teaching people how to file taxes or cook their own food, etc. It's because, you know, the dumber people are, the easier they are to control. So they waste your time learning stuff that you're never going to use inside an applicable situation in real life, so that way you can't have the education in order to figure out how to fight back against the system. But essentially the average IQ from 1930 to 1980 was going up for about 5 points per year, topping out around 130, like the average IQ being 130, which is pretty fucking smart, by the way, because for those of you that don't know, to be medically considered like a genius, you have to have an IQ of 140, and so 130 as an average IQ is really well. And then it steadily declined since 1990, and Idiocracy kind of explains this process in a comical way. However, the point still stands. Simply put, stupid people reproduce more. They have more sex because sex feels good, with little to no thought about the consequences and potential children of what that is, obviously. There's only one thing that bakes in that oven, and it's a fucking child. Whereas intelligent people are more likely to have protected sex and are way more likely to consider other factors before actually trying to conceive a child. The movie kind of makes it seem like this is the only factor attributing to the dumbing down of society. However, many scientists attribute the national IQ decline on environmental factors, which basically means it's mostly the type of content that we're exposed to that is causing the decline of the developed world. I mean, what do we expect when we glamorize Idiocracy? Just think about the most famous people you know. Cardi B, Ice Spice, iShowSpeed, etc. I could name dozens of famous people who are absolute fucking idiots. Absolute buffoons! So when people see that idiots can make millions of dollars from content, of course they're going to try their luck making content, hence the sludge content stream that we have now, where NPC trends and being a degenerate in general is what is promoted. This movie was a warning, and that's why it's practically unheard of. Because once companies gave their logos and brands to Fox to use in this movie, saw the movie, they realized that it showed their products in a bad light, and thus Fox basically released this movie in as few theaters as possible and didn't advertise for the movie at all. The movie made just under $500K at box office, which is kind of insane. So then the question becomes, why would companies want this movie suppressed? After all, it was just a harmless comedy, right? Unless it wasn't. Just think, why would companies want us to be lazy consumers? Because they want us to be addicts to their product. You're probably thinking, wait, wouldn't it be smarter if these products made us healthier, to live longer and buy more products? Well, the trick is most food companies are also invested inside of pharmaceutical companies and other medical institutions, because the number one way to sell a product is to create a problem and then sell the solution. So, if they have you addicted to unhealthy foods, they can also sell you the supplements for vitamins and nutrients that you're missing from those unhealthy foods. Then, they make a maximum profit by getting you addicted to their cheap, unhealthy food and selling you solutions for your health problems. If you still don't understand what I'm talking about, just think about Apple products. They remove the aux input and then sell you all kinds of accessories to make up for it. They created a problem and then sold the solution for it. It's the oldest marketing trick known to mankind. Think about the last couple of commercials you've seen. Most commercials show you how life is before said product, and then how good your life would be after said product. It's just the tale as old as marketing. Now, if this is your first time hearing about, the rat race and the rampant consumerism mentality of America, then you're probably wondering, how on earth do we stop this? I could do an entire video on that concept alone, but ultimately there's two ways out of the rat race. Either you make it to the top, or you slip out the bottom, which means you either find a way to make enough money where you never have to work again, or you find a way to make all of your own necessities where you no longer rely on consumer products at all. Because if you make your own house, grow your own food, and make your own clothes, you really have no need for money. However, both of those are easier said than done, so what are some feasible things you can actually do? Teach your kids helpful things. Take the time to learn things. Notice how much time you spend mindlessly scrolling videos, and use that time to learn a new habit or skill, because if you can't beat the system, it's still best to try to drink as little sludge as possible.